Okay, as you can see, we have excess going on over here. This is from me doing my fixes. All right. Now, what I've learned from auto body, because I used to use clear coat a lot, and you'd have runs from time to time, is you can hold a razor blade flush. You see how that's knocking it down, the highs? That'll be less sanding later. I will be burning up less sandpaper. I could also go ahead and take my razor blade on an angle here. Because I didn't sand my product, it doesn't have that mechanical bond. And I can go ahead and work this drip off. I'm not gonna get it completely off. We have to sand the whole thing to do our flood coat anyway. But this will save on sandpaper and also prevent us from potentially burning. And if you scratch, it's no big deal. Like here's one. And you can see how I'm getting that whole drip that I laid on here by accident. And I can also go ahead and take my blade again. And you keep it perpendicular. And you can see how it's getting lower. I got it almost flush now. When I come back with this with the 220, you're never gonna see that high. All right, so there's some tricks. This is how you fix your problems without doing full pours. All right, I wanted you to see this. So I have this huge excess on the top. And I'm just taking this razor blade and I'm taking this down. I'm not necessarily gonna have to get all the way down, but we're definitely gonna try to save a lot of sandpaper. We're gonna be flusher. But you can see where it's a little low right here, which means I still have room to go. Okay, this little drippy poo right here, you can see. So I can keep scraping that. Remember, we're flood coating this, so once I sand this, it's gonna be fine. And you can see how it's going ahead and getting back to the flush level. Those divots are getting thinner and thinner. See that? It's getting better and better. And I'm also, instead of having a lot of dust, it's just scraping off, okay? So I'm not even wearing my respirator right now because it doesn't matter. I want to show you this one really good spot that you can see how it ends up. Now, granted, if we had done our pour in 2 spots, we probably wouldn't have this issue, but on the bright side, we know how to fix it. See, almost completely gone. You got a couple little spots there. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. All right, our dots are gone pretty much. All right, so I went ahead and scraped down with the razor blade, this big old blob in the middle. You can still see wherever it's shiny, those are lows, okay? But we've knocked it down a lot. And you can see all around the edges here how I've knocked it down a lot. It'll save me sandpaper, save me time sanding. This is not for the faint at heart. I've been doing auto body for 15 years. And, you know, I've dealt with polyurethane runs a lot. So what I would recommend if you want to do this, I would definitely recommend getting yourself a sample board, playing with it, because you'd rather burn up a sample board than a customer job. I'm going to go ahead and sand out that big old giant blob here in the middle so you can see what the final results will be. All right, so you can see right here, see those edges? There's a little shine there. I'm going to block that out with my 180 on my blocker. Over here, you can see that lip. I was hitting it with the sandpaper. It really wasn't getting much. So I came over here and I did a little bit more scraping. It was just too high. So I'll have to scrape that out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and block this out now. Now, one thing I also learned on sanding with the sander we have here. This is a random orbital sander. Remember, epoxy gets softer as it gets warmer. So what I did is I just kept taking time and running around the whole edge instead of just working one area because it was just clogging up our paper. As you can see, these things are shot, and this is why we use the razor blade. Okay, so I went ahead and I blocked it out. I went ahead and used our orbital sander with the 220. I mean, it's still got a little bit of an edge, but it's feathered better. I really believe that the flood coat's going to cover this. If it doesn't, we got to do a re-pour, but I think this is going to be fine. So we'll see. All right, guys, so we went ahead and we did our fix it and poured our flood over just the big panels. We had so much time wasted scraping, sanding. It was 5 hours yesterday, but we got our floods on. And you can see here, remember I was concerned about that one spot where I had the feathered edges. Well, this flood coat covered it great. No one's ever going to know there was a bug there. Over here, our scratch that I touched up, no one's ever going to see that, okay? This over here, I'm not extremely happy with, but I don't think anyone's going to know what it is, okay? We'll get away with that. You saw in the other video how I had burned through here, so I put a couple of coats of primer on here. We're going to do a fix-it on just this edge in a little bit. The only thing that's going to make me extremely happy about today is that I'm going to get to do some coasters. We're making coasters to match the counters. We're going to give that to our client as a gift. We're going to put our little logo and our email address on here. Also, this is why I go through all the extra effort. There is no way in the world I can put this in someone's front yard if it's not a masterpiece. It can't be good enough. It's got to be perfect. So we'll be doing that flood coat on that while I'm doing my little touch-up on that over there. And listen, when you're sanding on these edges, I mean, it's so easy to burn. So what I did is I sanded one. I used my razor blade. This is nice and smooth. Used my razor blade today. I went and sanded with 180 a little bit. Then I came back with just a little 400 just to smooth out. There's a couple of shiners in there, but that's not a big deal. But you'll see right here, I just saw that I missed that. So I mean, it literally as simple as simple as that. When I flood over that, no one's going to know that it doesn't have the metallic in it. I mean, I got away with murder doing cars. It's so hard to be absolutely perfect. You're going to run into stuff. You got all sorts of problems. You know, like Forrest says, life's like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you get. Well, once in a while, you get one that's just not that good. Okay, so I'm going to fix this little spot here. And this is where this will really, really work, is if you have a small spot. That we should have done a full pour on the other one. But since I'm going to have to mix up a little bit of epoxy, I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and flood coat my shingle. Some great vinyl work from a friend at church. When she gets her page going really good, I'll go ahead and put a link on there. But thank you, Kayleen Knight. You did an awesome job on this. I'm very happy. I'm going to go ahead and flood that. This is going to take 10.5 ounces. This is going to take ungats. But, you know, 3 to 3 puts me, I can't do 2 to 2, so I'm going to do 3 to 3. Puts me at 14 ounces. There's going to be 10.5 here, a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and, I've been wanting to make these chest pieces for a while. Why not have a metallic white set? So we'll see you in a few minutes. So this is a little touch-up. This is the side that I burnt. I built a nice trough here. I'm going to load this up. I went and, so I don't have to scrape as much, I went and put some tape on the board. It's what I call roll-edged. So I put it down, rolled it back, so it's not going to be a hard line. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. And we'll wait around for an hour and a half or so to pull it off. This is just the white metallic. There you go. Just leave that there. And when I pull it, it'll come off. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna put my flood on. I anticipate using all of this, so. Now, because of the vinyl lettering, I don't want to use my trowel. I'm gonna use a putty knife, blade, whatever they call it, spreader. Call it whatever you want. And I'm just gonna go ahead and spread it around. I'm not pushing down all the way to the board because I want my thickness, but keep it away from the edges for right now. I can't chop this, so I'm just going to take a toothpick, mix this up so that the metallics will fall in different levels of the epoxy. At least that's what I'm going for. But you can see how the epoxy, the metallics are coming back up and all. So just want to make it so it's just not plain. All right. It's been about an hour and 15, an hour and a half. Ooh. Come apart, thank you. And I'll go ahead, just prime that edge good. Put down this purple tape because one, I'm never going to use it again, and I have it. And two, we have so much left over from the other stuff laying on the board. I didn't clean it off. I'd like to try to keep it kind of clean. All right, so I dammed it off. I just want this edge. So put that down there. I put a plate under here back to the hole. There's still stuff left over. And I'm gonna go ahead and prime that edge really good. And I'm gonna wait just a little while longer to take this off because I don't want it rolling back in and make me scrape more. Because we know how much fun I had doing that. Bye. So, definitely want to just rub this edge nicey nice. And I'll probably come back in about another, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or whatever. And pull that back edge off. I'll show you that. And we'll go from there. So it's been about an hour and 45 minutes now. I'm going to pull my back roll off. Roll edge. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of product here. I'm just going to rub this in and just make it so it's a little blend going on here. I know I'm going to have to hit this with a razor blade, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And we'll go ahead and put a little bit more product, smooth this out a little bit better. We're still going to do a flood over this, so it'll be okay. But this is really good for the fix-it problem. You know, all that stuff we did, I mean, Jesus, I have 15 hours in that minimum. Okay, and you know what? We can't be having that. And I'll go ahead and just give this a little rubby poo. All right, so this is what you can really use your Fix-It for. When it's all said and done, we've learned some valuable lessons, and that's part of the game. I mean, this is our second real job, and I don't mind sharing my mistakes with you. One thing that we definitely will do from now on is we will push for a wider bull nose on this. Half the reason why we had our problem is because this is a very thin bull nose. Works great on 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. We had a much wider one on our other project. And when you have it wider, you have a bigger trough to fill. You have more product to roll down the edge. So that was half our problem. So we're going to be just putting that as standard. It's going to be a bigger round over. Other than that, hey, you know what? I hope this helps you guys. I hope all the videos I've been doing is helping you guys. If you'd like to help me back, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, subscribe, like, watch the videos there, share them with friends. Because I'm only putting this out to like 8 or 9 groups, and they're all epoxy groups. So, you know, of course you're going to watch them. But how many people out there don't know about these groups? And they could go ahead and be exposed to this. And let's pass this art along to everyone. Until next time.